Hello everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a celebration of Erin Jacobson's 30,000 subscribers to her YouTube channel, Crafty Concepts with Erin. So a bunch of us are getting together and we are celebrating Erin by scrap lifting her. So I am going to scrap lift a layout that she did in February. And of course, it's an outdoor layout, and I'm going to use the papers from Weekend Adventures. This is both her and my favorite new collection from the annual catalog. So the pictures I'm going to scrapbook are from an outing to Rocky Mountain National Park, my favorite place in the world. And some girlfriends and I, we got up super early and drove up there and did a hike to Mills Lake. So this is our group here that we all hiked up there, and I have some pictures along the way. So this is the first half of the hike, and then I'll do another 2-page layout once we get to the lake. So I had too many pictures to scrapbook. It was a beautiful fall day and those colors were just stunning. So this is the collection, Weekend Adventures. And let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do a base of Mossy Meadow with vanilla, very vanilla on top. So I'll have a nice wide border of Mossy Meadow, and I will gut that underneath the very vanilla. I'll gut that out so that I can use some of that unused Mossy Meadow for another project. And let's go ahead and start choosing our papers. So I want this compass and hiking icon paper to pack the biggest punch. So it's going to be the largest piece. And then I want this green tree piece to be on top. That's going to be a banner. So I cut everything according to Erin's specs. And so I've got the pecan pie piece cut at 1 inch by 9 inches and then 6 inches by 9 inches. And the blue piece is 4 inches across by 12. And then I've cut this green piece to be about 5 inches wide. And I'm just deciding how long I want it to be before I dovetail it. And then the opposite page, 1 inch by 9 and 6 inches by 9 and then 4 by 12. So let's go ahead and measure this green tree piece and decide how long I want it to be. I'm thinking 10 inches. Yeah. So I cut that down, and then let's go ahead and dovetail it. So I'm looking to figure out where the middle is and just eyeballing it kind of and snipping vertically in the center. So just snip and don't go too deep, because the deeper you go, the more angled your dovetail will be. I just want a nice shallow dovetail, and then take each corner to meet that snip. So clean it up a bit, and there we go. Awesome. So I'm following Erin's pattern exactly. So you can check out her video for more details on the measurements, and I'll put a link in the description below. So I'm going to go ahead and ink all the edges of the inner papers. I'm not going to ink the very vanilla or the Mossy Meadow, but everything else I'm going to ink with early espresso to make them pop from the page just a bit more. So I've cut a mat in early espresso for my photos, and off camera I decided that this picture of my friend Mary, it needed to be square instead of the 3x4 that I originally printed. So I went back to my printer and did a 3x3. So I've got a mat for that, and this one is 4x4. And then for my other two pictures, they were too big to add a mat to. So instead, in lieu of adding a mat, I inked around the edges with early espresso. And I think that works. Okay, so I have this die set. It is mini alphabets, and I'm going to cut my title. And I'm going to cut that out using Mossy Meadow. And this die set is great because you get all the letters of the alphabet with one pass. So I have, off camera, I've cut 3 layers of my title and glued them together. It takes a while, but it really does make a difference, and it makes your letters look like chipboard once you have them all stacked and glued together. So I cut out my title here, and I'm just going to stagger the words across the space, kind of like that. Okay, now the fun part. Let's make some embellishments. So this stamp set is Weekend Adventures, and I'm going to stamp out this sentiment. It says taking the scenic route, and it's a new stamp set, so I need to season it. So once I get it set up on my block here, I will rub it with a microfiber cloth, and that will prepare a stamp for taking ink for the first time. And if you ever feel like your stamp isn't inking up properly, go ahead and season it again. You can rub it on your arm as well, and it should take ink smoothly. So I'm going to use a piece of basic beige, and I'm going to stamp in Mossy Meadow. So we'll go ahead and ink up the stamp and stamp it out. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out using a die from the collection that is called Nested Essentials. No, Stylish Shapes. I'm using Nested Essentials too. So I cut a circle with the Nested Essentials, and Stylish Shapes is for this banner, and I'm going to ink everything as well. And I decided that I wanted a longer banner, so I'll show you how to do this. It's not clean, it's not perfect, but you won't notice it once it's on the layout. So in order to lengthen something, you can run your die through with the end hanging off. So it's not going to cut that section, and then you just stagger it and move it down and then run it through a second time and leave the end of that die hanging out, and it won't cut that portion. So the remaining bit is what you've got a longer banner there. So I did that for both the tree paper and the basic beige, and I'm going to ink those around the edges. And then this basic beige piece, I'm going to do some journaling on. So they're going to sit like that. So instead of doing tags like on Erin's layout, I decided to do banners. Okay, so this set is called, oh, it's also the Weekend Adventures. And I'm going to take a stamp from that one that says Love This Place. And it's going to fit there just perfect. So I'm lining everything up here. And we'll go ahead and stamp that out. So I'm going to stamp that in Mossy Meadow. Go ahead and stamp right there. I know part of that banner is going to be tucked under a picture, so it's not centered, but it's centered underneath my journaling. And then in this set, there's some little accent lines, and I'm going to put those around Love This Place, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So just seasoning it and getting it ready to stamp out here. So do one on either side, and it just draws attention to that sentiment. Too much ink. Need to clean it up first before I can re-ink it. There we go. Okay, and then we'll stamp on the other side. All right, check that out. Super cute. Okay. All right, we'll get this stuff out of the way, get the blocks cleaned up. And that one can go right about there. And we'll tuck part of it underneath there. So we'll stagger those two banners. So that kind of reflects the banner that's on the left page. Okay, so I cut a circle and it's just like the pattern. And we'll tuck that under. So now we have that green tree paper in 3 different places on the layout. And then I'll add, taking the scenic route on top there. Okay, so I went to my sticker sheet and I like to cut the stickers from the sheet itself and leave them on the carrier so that I can play with them and move them around. And this one, it's a tab, and I just wrote Alberta Falls because along the hike we stopped there first before continuing on to Mills Lake. And then I want this other circle sentiment to sit there. And the third circle for the layout is this one, and that's going to sit in the middle there. Awesome. Okay. Just making sure I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Okay, so this is Scenic Adventure, and it's got some tree dies in it. So this is currently available in the online exclusive section. And yeah, I'm going to cut a whole forest. I cut mossy meadow, and the flip side, the lighter side of mossy meadow, and old olive. And then I went to Stylish Shapes to get a larger circle. Unfortunately, in the Nested Essentials, the largest circle wasn't big enough. I needed a larger circle. So I cut that in early espresso to mat my sticker. And now I'm just going to cluster a whole bunch of trees all around my elements here. So check out your stash. You may have Spotlight on Nature, or you might have another circle set for larger circles. So I'm just going to add a whole bunch of trees, and I like to add things in odd numbers because that is more, it's a design theory to odd numbers are more pleasing to the eye. So just going to cluster a whole bunch of trees all around these circles. This one I need to do a little surgery to so I can squish it underneath the circle. And off camera, I will glue everything down. So just adding more trees everywhere. So be sure to check out the playlist. I will put one in the description below. Just hit the More button and you'll be able to find the link to the playlist to find everyone's videos, everyone who is scraplifting Erin for her 30,000 subscriber celebration. Congratulations, Erin. That's huge. So to finish off my layout, I'm going to add these textured dots. I'm going to do 3 of them below my journaling, and then 3 more below the square picture on the left page. So I will put close-up shots of this layout over on my Facebook page. The URL is at the bottom of your screen. I'll also put a link in the description below, or you can hop on over to my Instagram and I'll have pictures there as well. And again, the link is in the description below. I will make a list of all the supplies that I used with links. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. I'd sure appreciate it. Pulling these closer to the camera and a still shot in just a second. I really like the way this turned out. Thanks, Erin. And thanks for watching.